Hello, my name's Elijah Wells, and the Oscars just happened last night, so let's break down the winners one by one. So, let's get on with it. For Best Picture, it deservedly goes to One Battle After Another. Again, a phenomenal win for that one. Particularly, this is one of the 3 wins that Paul Thomas Anderson has, and he's finally no longer considered the best filmmaker to yet to receive an Oscar. Now he's one of the best filmmakers out there, even though he has an Oscars from the ceremony already for directing and writing. Again, very well deserved, particularly fighting off some pretty tough competition from Sinners and Frankenstein. For Best Actor, it goes to somewhat surprisingly, being Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Even though he hasn't won a Golden Globe or BAFTA, but he did get a lot of momentum kicking in with not just Sinners gained 16 nominations, a record for the Oscars, but won the SAG Awards or the Actors Awards for his role in the movie. Again, playing dual roles of Stack and Smoke in the movie. I'm guessing the reason he won is that he actually likes ballet and opera. Of course, he won over Timothée Chalamet, who's pretty much shot himself in the foot after that remarks about ballet and opera. Leonardo DiCaprio, who again I did back to win, but didn't come out empty-handed, unfortunately. Even Hawk for Blue Moon and Wagner Maury for Secret Agent, which I'm kind of surprised didn't win anything, to be honest. And for Best Actress, it goes to Jessie Berkley for Hamnet. Again, probably the most dominant actress, or the most dominant actor or actress to win anything this year. As in, the only thing it didn't win is for Best Best Actress in Comedy, which went to Rose Byrne, but she won for Best Actress in Drama at the Golden Globes, which again, pretty much is a complete sweep for her. Yeah, I did, and of course she did. Of course, Rose Byrne did co-star along the host being Conan O'Brien for the movie If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Also, Kate Hudson won for the Redeemer Razzie Awards from Sears Music to Song Song Blue. And of course, was getting a bit handsy with Grogu or Baby Yoda. So there's that for you. Emma Stone for Bagnonia and Renetta Razzie for Sentimental Value. For Supporting Actress, it went to what I initially thought was the dark horse in this competition. It goes to Amy Madigan for Weapons as Aunt Gladys. Won over Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. Ignore his daughter Elise for Sentimental Value again. Also Roman Mosique from Sinners, who also won at the BAFTAs, and Tyler Taylor for One Battle After Another, which she won from the Golden Globes. Again, a very wide open, very diverse race, but Amy Madigan pretty much gets on top with a very scattered bunch. For Supporting Actor, it goes to Sean Penn in his 3rd Oscar in his career for One Battle After Another, previously winning for the Clint Eastwood movie Mystic River and the Gus Van Sant movie Milk. And this is his first win in 17 years. After, again, the movie about Harvey Milk. Winning over his co-star Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, he did a great performance there. D-Roll Lindell for Sinners, and Stan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value, which, again, I thought the latter could have won that for that category, but I'm totally down, telling with the fact that Sean Penn won for One Battle After Another. And again, I'm so very surprised that Sentimental Value only came back with just the one award being Best International Film for Norway. For Best Director, it goes to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Again, a very well deserved win. Been working in the industry for nearly 30 years now after his breakout directorial role in Boogie Nights, and as well completely keeping the momentum up with Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love, then and of course There'll Be Blood, The Master, and finally he's won that well-deserved Oscar for One Battle After Another. His big, nearly 3-hour long epic about, yes, the people who work at ICE are not really nice people to begin with. Of course, there's Ryan Coogler for Sinners, who's getting very prevalent during the promo of the movie. Of course, Josh Safdie for My Supreme, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. And we go down to the screenplays, particularly for adapted screenplay. It goes to, again, One Battle After Another, which is based off a Thomas Pynchon novel, Vinland. And this is the second adaptation that Paul Thomas Anderson has done of a Thomas Pynchon book, being the first one being Inherent Vice, which It was critically not the best received, but the reviews were somewhat good, but wasn't the best received film, given how ridiculously overcomplicated the story was, which is in keeping of a Thomas Pynchon novel. Of course, won over Bognonia, which is a remake of the Korean film Save the Green Planet, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Train Dreams being based off like famous novels. We have Best Original Screenplay, which goes to Sinners, which is again a really well-deserved win. I think the closest anyone could have got to it was again Sentimental Value, but My Supreme could have been there, but Sinners pretty much triumphed on top of it. Now we go to the probably the biggest categories of this time is the best musics. For first, we're going with best song, which has garnered some controversy as only just 2 of the 5 songs are given a live performance during the telecast of the award show, which is a very bit surprising because of all songs they didn't broadcast Train Dreams from the movie Train Dreams, which has Nick Cave of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, particularly of this very beautiful album, Murder Ballads. Again, and of course, Nick Cave is very well known for how really ethereal his life stuff is, and he has made documentaries about why he really lives for the live performances, particularly if it's a lot more depressing stuff like Skeleton Tree. But going over back to Best Original Song, it goes to Golden of K-Pop Demon Hunters, which is again a song I definitely did enjoy, and again, so definitely happy it won. But again, I do remember that it was going to be a really tight one with I Lied to You from Sinners, and of course Train Dreams from Nick Cave. And of course there are other stuff like Sweet Dreams of Joys by Villa Valdi and Dear Me from Diane Warren Relentless. Now we go to the best score. It deservedly went to Sinners from Lyric Garrison, which is his 3rd win in the space of 7 years. And of course the second with his partner being Ryan Coogler. Of course there was the 2018 Black Panther, then 2023 Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan, and now Sinners with Ryan Coogler. Hoping next year he could win the 4th one with Odyssey. Again, we'll see how that race pans out in the near future. For Best International Film, it goes to Sentimental Value representing Norway. Again, this is a very tight category we have, because all of them, with the exception of The Voice of Hinijab from Tunisia, all got additional nominations. Like, it was Just an Accident representing France, got nominated for Original Screenplay, Surat from Spain got nominated for Sound, and The Secret Agent got a host of award nominations like Picture. Well, I think one of the screenplays, definitely for actor for Wagner Mori and casting, but pretty much the most obvious pick was definitely going to be Norwegian film Sentimental Value. And for animated feature, it goes to K-Pop Demon Hunters, a film I definitely really enjoy on Netflix. And won over Lo Amelie, Elio, Akira, and Zootopia 2, which is again the 4th time running that Disney has not won a Best Animated Feature award. Last time that they've won the award was for the 2021 film Encanto, and since then they've lost to films like Boy and a Heron, Pinocchio, Flow, and now K-Pop Demon Hunters, which is, I think, is going to be a really strong case for the new CEO since Bob Iger has now left, and that Disney's going to have a really long look in the mirror, being like, okay, now what we're going to do, since it's going to be the longest time we've not won anything out of this category. And of course, animation is what makes Disney and Pixar pretty much one of the biggest household names. But of course, there's Toy Story 5 and Hoppers. The latter I did enjoy and watch recently. Maybe Pixar might hold it out, but we have got till Christmas to see what the atmosphere is like for animation. Particularly, there's some strong snubs out there. Like we have no Demon Slayer in this. We have no Chainsaw Man, which is again a pretty tight competition, to say the least. And for documentary feature, it went to Mr. Nobody against Putin. I thought it was going to go to The Perfect Neighbor since it's about the stand your ground rules in Florida, but particularly if it's a movie about the education system during the period of the Russia's war against Ukraine. Again, I feel like it's somewhat more of an understandable choice in my opinion. For Best Costume Design, it goes to Frankenstein. Again, a very well-deserved win over Hamlet, My Supreme Sinners, and Avatar in there for some reason, even though I did say Lord Film was basically a lot of motion capture, and something like Wicked for Good wasn't nominated, even despite some of the lukewarm reception. But again, totally happy with Frankenstein won for costume. For makeup, again, Frankenstein, definitely a really strong contender, pretty much a really strong front runner through and through. And I think the only somewhat of a competition could have sized up against it was Sinners, but it pretty much brushed that aside for the makeup and hairstyling. And for production design, I was hoping that Sinners would have won that category, but again, Frankenstein did win for that one, and of course I'm totally satisfied with it. And that's basically 3 for 3 for more design areas, or the more practically designed areas for the Guillermo del Toro masterpiece. And for best sound, it goes to Formula 1, or F1 as it's called, which has somewhat some controversies, particularly in some film circles. Particularly, it wasn't like the Timothée Chalamet controversy, like, oh, I don't care about ballet or opera. I think it was just a case of, okay, what really merits it to be given that many nominations, particularly with Best Picture, unless they had to fill in the number 10 spot somewhere. But this was, again, a Best Sound Oscar, which Joseph Kosinski, who directs this film, did also win that award from Top Gun Maverick, which, again, does go to show his genius in sound ingenuity. It won over Frankenstein, won Battle of Another, Sinners, and, of course, Surat from Spain. Again, a little bit of an odd pairing of that, but here we are. For Best Editing, it goes to One Battle After Another, which, again, a very strong, very solid win for that category. And again, another strong competition from that was Sinners, but again, One Battle After Another was a deserved win for that one. Cinematography, it went to Sinners for that one. At the BAFTAs, I was definitely a bit surprised that One Battle After Another did win for that one, because the cinematography in Sinners is just absolutely gorgeous and just awe-inspiring, and definitely sold the movie to a lot of people, particularly it was done on 70mm and IMAX film. And one over Frankenstein, My Supreme, and Train Dreams as well. Visual effects, it goes to Avatar, Fire and Ash, again, winning over Sinners, which is the movie I definitely backed for that one, but I wasn't surprised that Avatar won for this one, but again, never bet against James Cameron at this point. And for Best Live Action Short, this is the first time in over a decade that we have a tie at the Oscars, being the joint winners being the singers and 2 people exchanging saliva. I'm guessing the top 2 just had the same amount of votes, I guess. But the last time that's happened was for sound editing, I think it was, for the 2012-2013 Oscars when Zero Dark 30 and Skyfall won for the exact same category. And for Best Animated Short, it goes to A Girl Who Cries Pearls, okay. And Best Documentary Short, All the Empty Rooms, again, very big on Netflix, so understandable that it got big. And for the inaugural award for Best Casting, the first winner, and definitely something I put 100% on Letterboxd, it's One Battle After Another. Again, I don't know the complete gist about it for Best Casting, but again, this sounds deserved, so I'm just going to give it to them. So, what do you think of the Oscars this year? Let me know in the comments down below. And subscribe to my channel, like this video, and you can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and Letterboxd, and dislike Ross. And bye.